Kia ora and welcome to this episode of the Amateur Austenite. I'm Frances Duncan, an author and the founder of the Jane Austen Society of Aotearoa, New Zealand. My co-host is Rachel Pilwell.
Hello.
Today we're discussing Chapter 7 of Emma. In Chapter 7, Mr. Martin proposes!
Woo!
He does it via letter? Safe. Unfortunately, that means that Emma has the opportunity to convince Harriet to refuse him.
Boo!
And, remind her of how great, in quotes, Mr. Elton is.
Vomit emoji. This is the point of the story that Emma
sucks.
It's the point where I start almost rooting against her. It's where she becomes almost like the villain of the story for me. Yes, I understand her motivation. She wants Harriet to be in a better position. She wants her to be with Mr. Elton. It's just the complete lack of actual care and understanding about her friend in this scene that I just can't. It just makes me so mad at Emma.
Because it's obvious. Harriet is into Mr. Martin and wants to say yes.
Yeah. Harriet is like, oh my god, I've been wanting this. It's like the hope. She actually genuinely was like, oh, I really like him. You know, I really hope he proposes. And then finally he does. I think he should have done it earlier because she hasn't seen him very much since hanging out with Emma, and that's probably been, a few months or something at this point. I don't know how far through the story we are, but...
I don't think it's terribly long, because I think after this, they refer to it as being a couple of weeks.
Okay. Either way, 2 weeks. Let's say it's 2 weeks. In this time frame, it takes a bit longer to communicate with someone if you're not seeing them in person.
And maybe he was, after she moved out of their house, taking time to make the decision that this is what he wants to do. Because we do know that he talked to Mr. Knightley pretty much the day before and then pulled the trigger.
Get his affairs in order, make sure that he could provide for them.
Which is fantastic.
It's such a nice, responsible... He's not such a nice, responsible young man. He does make sure that he is able to provide for Harriet and make sure that she would be happy and comfortable.
Which is super important. And I kind of wish people thought about that more these days.
Yeah.
Sure, you love somebody. Does that mean that you should necessarily be moving in together, getting married, having babies? Are you both in an okay position to be doing that?
Maybe... Are you financially stable enough to afford the lifestyle that you're both picturing? Because in today's society, a single income household just is so unfeasible. Well, okay, if you're getting married, fine, sure, depending on how much you're thinking of spending on your wedding.
Oh, that's a big thing.
Is a big thing. The wedding industry is incredibly expensive. And then after that, okay, you're having babies. Have you thought about the costs of that? If one of you has to stay home to look after the child, well, that's a whole lot of income. And then if you're going into childcare, that's hella expensive.
If your child's going into childcare the whole time, is it really worth you having a child if you never get to see it? There's arguments on all the sides.
Yeah.
Our bodies just kind of go, no, but I want a baby, and do not care about logic.
Our bodies haven't caught up with the realities of the current economy. And
although people who have money are more attractive. Somehow in our biology, it's recognised that people who have money are providers, so you can be attracted to them in the way that you used to be attracted to...
the hunters. Yeah. Hunter-gatherers.
Muscles, etc.
Yeah. It's all part of the brain's monkey psychology of being like, we... is still so primitive in so many ways that actually, the rich person, the person who can provide safety and security, is always going to be the more attractive option. But whether people actually, in the end, do still consider all the options before making huge life-changing decisions.
Yeah, you get carried away when you have feelings and stuff.
Yeah. And then, such as an Emma, you have the little devil on your shoulder who's telling you, no, don't go for that one. You could be so much happier with this guy who could be a better provider, who'll give you a better social standing. I do picture Emma as the devil on Harriet's shoulder in this bit.
Mr. Elton, okay, yeah, would increase her society standing a little bit, but she'd be so much happier with Mr. Martin. He's fun, he's kind to her, and she loves his family as well.
I don't know how much we get into Mr. Elton's story, like how much we know about his family specifically.
Pretty much nothing.
Yeah. Well, we don't know whether he has any siblings, we don't know what his parents are like. Harriet, who has grown up without a family, would probably absolutely love to have a family of her own, of like people who could support her and be like, what's her support system? Her support system, even in this time, would have been so important to make good decisions for your life. She doesn't have that, really. And Emma is not fitting that role particularly well because Emma's so focused on her own goals, she's not thinking about Harriet's well-being. If Harriet ended up with Miss Elton, is she really gaining very much at all?
No, I feel like she'd be isolated.
Yeah, she'd still be able to talk to Emma and stuff. Apart from that, it's like one person's not enough to replace even the concept of your family. That's the thing, the Martins 100% have taken Harriet in as one of their own. They love her, and that's such a beautiful thing.
They don't mind about her parentage or lack thereof.
They genuinely could not care less. They're just like, she's so sweet and lovely, and I don't remember how Harriet meets the Martins. Like
the girls go to school with her.
Okay, so that's the thing. She already had this basis of friendship, and then go to stay with them, meet the brother. He's also lovely. You've got to think it's a credit to the Martins' parents to have raised such well-adjusted children who are kind.
Jane Austen famously was proposed to. We know of one definite occasion. There are rumours of others. She was staying in the guy's house at the time, and then she said yes, then said no, and had to leave. She didn't have to leave. She wanted to leave because that's awkward as fuck. I think it shows maturity that Robert Martin did not propose while Harriet was living with him. I mean, apart from the figuring out whether he had the money to support her, not doing it when she was trapped in his house.
He respects the concept of the power dynamic. He understands that he could have had power over her and that she might have just said yes, not of her own volition, to be happy, but just to stay where she was.
And I wonder if him writing the letter was part of that as well, to give her a bit of space to think about it, because if he asked her in person, she'd probably just say yes, but not consider it at all. You
do feel like if someone asks you something, you've got the pressure to give an immediate response, which is why I think public proposals are the stupidest thing anyone's ever done.
Private moment between two people.
Yeah.
And it puts pressure on somebody to say yes.
Yeah, and I hate that. And I think also maybe the letter is his way of saying it in a measured and more eloquent way, because he does seem like a very shy man. Harriet makes him he's all like, oh my god, I really like her. Like,
pretty girl.
Pretty girl. Like, maybe he's like, if I say it in person, I'm going to mess it up. It's going to just be gibberish and not cohesive at all. So maybe it's his way of trying to give her a more eloquent, nice proposal as well. But I also feel like Mr. Martin's the kind of guy who'd write the letter, get Harriet's response of affirmation, and then when he sees her in person, ask again in person. Like, I just feel like he would be that guy. Just checking you do want to marry me.
The flowers down on one knee. I don't know if they did the knee thing during this period of time.
I don't know when that came into
I think the point of it is supposed to be supplication and begging you to marry me and I will be your servant.
Yeah.
The one
knight
time,
in shining armor.
Yeah, the one time men have to try. This all happens the day Mr. Elton goes to London. So he's not there for Emma directly to be like, no, look at this guy. Grab her cheeks, turn her face. It's referred to as Emma's services towards Harriet. That's probably how Emma thinks of herself. She's helping Harriet, providing services. No.
Unpaid labour, ma'am.
No.
Nobody asked you to do this.
No.
You know they have like the different love languages and physical affection and words of affirmation. Some people it's acts of service. I think maybe the service is one of Emma's love languages.
Yeah.
But in this, the way that she's doing it towards Harriet is just really bad. I love you, I'm going to help you. And
by ruining your life.
I think this would be a really good way to help you. And everyone else is just like, no.
When Harriet's at Hartfield with Emma, one of the Miss Martins drops off 2 songs for her at Mrs. Goddard's, and included in that is the letter from Mr. Martin. It's a nice roundabout way to do it. It's non-pressured. And this is the only indication we have of Harriet playing music. But it's never said anything about her playing the piano, so maybe it was just for voice.
We definitely never get her performing. Maybe it's just an appreciation of the music. Maybe she doesn't play it herself. I think it's a really nice way to have done it. If there's anyone I like and they send me a text message, my brain goes, oh my god, I can't read this, I can't look at that, oh my god, I'm going into just complete panic mode. And I think receiving a letter from someone who you like would also maybe cause that similar reaction, you know? Maybe if he had just sent it straight to Harriet. Also, you don't know who's seeing that letter beforehand either. Like, if it's not being hand-delivered, if Harriet's not there and someone else is, like,
and you've got to be so careful because you cannot get letters from a boy.
Exactly. So if she'd received the letter from him straight, people probably would have talked. And she probably would have felt even more pressured to say yes. She probably would have had the internal panic of, oh my god, Mr. Martin's writing to me, I don't know if I can read this. Whereas getting it through his sister is a very discreet thing. And it obviously shows that he's talked to his sisters about this as well. If his sister's dropping it off, is to be like, are you okay with me proposing to your friend? And the sisters have obviously said yes because they love Harriet. They've already accepted her as a member of the family. And they're helping him because they're like, yes, I will help you propose, brother. Here's this letter just written by him, or has his sisters helped him write the perfect proposal?
Well, because Emma thinks that the sisters helped.
And I think probably. But you know what? It's good to get input from your friends, your family.
I love that the whole family is in on it, though, because when Harriet was staying with them, Mrs. Martin was going on about, he's going to make a great husband someday. Mm-hmm. They knew that he was interested in Harriet and they all support that. They all live together, so it's really important that they're on board with whoever he marries.
Yeah, once Harriet marries into the family, technically she becomes the mistress of the household.
Yep, will not be his mother anymore.
No. The term monster-in-law exists for a reason. In Austen's work, we definitely see many of those. And
imagine Mrs. Bennet as a mother-in-law.
I think about that all the time, where I'm like, I'm so sorry for, like, Darcy and Bingley having to put up with, but it's why I love in the final chapter of Pride and Prejudice, where they're talking about seeing the family and how they're living in Derbyshire and
you don't see them very often.
They don't see them very often. Jane and Bingley being at Netherfield and seeing the family all the time, and I'm like, no, please, that sounds awful. Having the aunt and uncle who live nearby coming to see them, who are almost like pseudo replacements for the mother-in-law, and they get them acceptable parents. Exactly. And so they have a really good relationship with Darcy and Elizabeth, as they're practically the in-laws, good in-laws that he got out of the deal. In this context, if you're taking over the house, if you're taking over as the mistress from a woman who's been in that position for decades, most likely, it's like, that can actually be really scary. That's another intimidation thing, is when you're the mistress of the house, that's when you have power. In this time frame, women don't have any power outside of the home.
No.
And so being the mistress of your household, you know, that's part of why women get married and why they want it. It's like, oh, I could be the mistress of this grand house.
And that's what Emma says, I would never be as much a mistress of my husband's house as I am of my father's. It seems like Mrs. Martin would support Harriet and show her how to be mistress of the house as well. I feel like Harriet's got no practical skills.
Absolutely none. I can't think of a single... I don't know exactly what they're learning at Mrs. Goddard's.
Not a lot.
But does she know how to do the household accounts? Especially if it's a farm. She wouldn't be doing the businessing side of the accounts. It's like
she doesn't have a housekeeper, though, so she would need to run the household account.
Harriet would definitely need help.
Yeah.
But it also shows that, because Harriet's shown as a naive and not overly bright character, especially from Emma's perspective, but it obviously shows that the Martins do think highly of her and her intelligence, that they're like, she would do a really good job of running this household, or at least...
I'm not sure they think that.
Maybe not that she'd do a really good job, but they trust her. They trust that she would be able to do it. They trust that she would look after them in her own way of being the mistress of the household. Because, I know that in some cases, like, once the son marries or whatever, the mother finds their own accommodation and
the dowager house,
and the sisters might move with them until they get married. They know that Harriet would never kick them out. Harriet probably would never. She would she would be like, but why are you leaving?
Why are you marrying someone else? Stay with us.
Stay with us. You're my family, please.
Don't leave me. Yeah, so it's a dick move for Emma to be like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, I'm just going to make my disapproval clear so that you will reject this man. I think it's kind of an asshole move that she's surprised that the letter's good.
It shows just how little she thinks of Mr. Martin. People in his position of society, because he's not in poverty by any means.
No.
But it obviously shows that she thinks so little of people beneath her own class. Oh, this man could actually write a good letter? Well, this person could be a wordsmith?
Yeah, at one point she refers to him as an illiterate farmer. No.
Honey, he's running a business.
Emma does give one good piece of advice out of context. In this context, not great because power dynamic, we need to remember that. The woman doubts as to whether she should accept a man or not. She certainly ought to refuse him. It is good advice. However, the only reason Harriet is doubting is because of Emma, and that is not fair. This is one of the things that's been a recent discourse about all sorts of stuff. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
It's such a universal rule. You can really apply that to like so many things. If you're unsure, don't do it. I really should do that more.
Have you seen Empire Records?
No, I have not.
There's a line in Empire Records, I do not regret the things I have done, only those I did not do.
That's a really good line.
Yeah. I mean, it can lead you to do some stupid shit, but...
Yeah, there's definitely things I regret doing.
Harriet literally asks for Emma to tell her what to do, and Emma's very not going to tell you what to do.
I'm totally not going to tell you what to do. I mean, you should totally do this, but I'm totally not going to tell you what to do. I feel like that's Emma's whole MO, though. Oh, I'm totally not telling you what to do. Like, you totally don't need to hang out with this person. You wouldn't make such a perfect couple. I'm totally not telling you you'd make a perfect couple.
And then the minute Harriet's like, okay, I'm going to refuse him. Am I right? And Emma's like, yeah, you are. Good. You did the right thing. We couldn't be friends if you married him. And Harriet's like, oh my God, I could never come here anymore. And it says, I was right, start of chapter 8, tells us it has been some weeks. It's been a couple of weeks that Harriet's already so hooked on this.
That's so many red flags. Can you imagine only knowing someone for 3 weeks and being like, I need your approval for all of my decisions, especially this biggest decision I'll ever make, and I need your approval.
Like maybe in an abusive relationship. Is that saying that Emma's relationship with Harriet is abusive?
In some ways, yes. Again, it's the whole power dynamic that I think makes it problematic, is that Emma is abusing the amount of power and sway she has over Harriet to make her do what she wants. I think I've used the word manipulation in almost every episode, but it really is. Like, manipulation is always going to be abuse in some way, maybe not quite to an extreme extent. But I feel like the way that Emma has basically gotten Harriet to have her word as law, and that's an abuse of power. It is potentially an abusive situation.
Yeah, trusting someone else's opinion above your own.
Yeah, because the thing is, if Harriet had said, I'm going to accept, Emma would have been like, no, don't do that, you can't do that. She wouldn't have said, oh, okay, I guess I'll respect that decision, or I don't think that's not the right choice, but you do you, boo. She would have started just trying to sway Harriet to her opinion.
Probably
again.
more of it. Instead of a flat out no, just be like, are you sure?
Yeah. I don't think that's maybe not the best idea.
No, but she made her own decision. I didn't manipulate her into it.
Emma is really good at convincing herself that all of these decisions that people are making are purely their own, and she had no influence on it whatsoever, or that she's not just drip feeding what she wants into these people's minds. It's brainwashing. Emma is brainwashing these people.
Referring to her being banished to Abbey Mill Farm in a society of the illiterate and vulgar. Like, get over yourself.
It's such an awful way to speak about these people in this situation. It's just like only using negative terminology.
And when we get to see Abbey Mill Farm, it's actually quite lovely. There's these particular types of apples that they've trained down like a little walkway. Just pretty.
That does sound really picturesque.
Emma again says something good again, but in bad context. A woman is not to marry a man merely because he is asked or because he is attached to her and can write a tolerable letter. You shouldn't marry someone just because they want to marry you. And Fanny Price says something really similar in Mansfield Park. When everyone's pressuring her to marry Mr. Crawford, she's like, just because he wants to marry me doesn't mean I have to marry him.
You don't owe him anything.
That's a huge thing because a lot of women do feel that way.
Yeah, especially in this time frame as well. Basically your whole life has been about growing up and getting married. It's like how Mr. Collins says in Pride and Prejudice, there's no guarantee another offer will be made to you.
And then you're screwed. Being a spinster
is such a bad thing as well. Such a negative thing in this time. well, I have to accept, otherwise, there's so much pressure to accept any proposal so that you don't end up in that situation. But Emma, at least, partially because she has so much power in her own home, she knows that she doesn't need to get married. She'll always be well cared for, which unfortunately isn't Harriet's situation.
No, she is not thinking about Harriet's situation.
But you're right. It is good advice, but not right now.
No.
Maybe say that to somebody else. That's what I think she should have said to Jane about Frank Churchill.
And then Emma basically writes the letter for Harriet, or dictates the letter for Harriet to write, because Harriet has no idea what to say.
Get input, sure, but I bet Mr. Martin's going to receive this letter and know it's not Harriet's words.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, oh, so Emma's rejected my proposal, not Harriet.
Him coming back around to propose to Harriet again is a huge deal.
It shows a lot of character, but it also shows understanding that it wasn't her response. It takes a lot of courage for him to shoot a shot again, and it shows that actually he's quite serious about Harriet as well, because most men don't take rejection very well. I hate that I have to say this, but it's so nice that he doesn't harass her for a better answer. He doesn't try and send his sisters do talk to Harriet, but they don't try and bully her. He doesn't send the dogs after her. He doesn't,
Yeah, when they run into her, they're nice, and he even says that you want to go a different way because that way's flooded.
Yeah.
And then just goes away.
Yeah. He respects that she made that decision, but he also is like, I'll ask again, and if she says no, then that's the definite no. That's the end of it. It shows that he actually is quite a smart man, because he knows that wasn't Harriet.
How gutting for him, though.
Yeah. To know that if he'd asked maybe a week or so before, he would have had a completely different answer, but it's just been just enough time for Emma to get her daggers into Harriet.
Emma says that Harriet is a great deal too necessary at Hartfield to be spared to Abbey Mill. It's more important that you're my companion than someone else's wife.
I'd rather you be my poor companion forever than be the mistress of a household with a family. In security and comfort and in love. Our friendship is more important than you being in love. And honestly, it's true. Friendship is the most important thing.
Friendship is the most important thing. If that's what your friend chooses, if they're choosing because they feel like they have to be with you over someone that they love, and it seems like Harriet does love Mr. Martin.
She respects him as an equal. Harriet isn't like, oh, he's better than me. I've got to appease this man who's wealthy. It's like, no, she's just like, this is my friend, and he's really lovely. He respects me, and I respect him, and they just have a really wholesome relationship, which is why it makes me so angry with Emma for not recognizing that at all. All she sees is this farmer who she thinks is illiterate and not good enough to be in the same circle as her or anyone she associates with.
Yeah, and then we're going to get, I think it's in the next chapter, Mr. Knightley.
I think that's one of my favourite chapters, is Mr. Knightley being so mad at Emma. Can't wait for the next one.
Because accurate. Badly done. And this is the thing, he's always like, I thought you were a better person than this. The whole way through the novel, he's like, I'm disappointed. I thought you were better. When he lends his carriage to Miss Bates and Miss Fairfax so they can go to the Coles, Emma's like, I feel like maybe that's something I should do, but you know that my dad wouldn't let me. And he's like, I'm sure you do. Look at you being good. She then starts talking about Mr. Elton and reminding Harriet of him. So sure, you're upset about Mr. Martin, but actually, remember how Mr. Elton has got your picture right now? He's taken it to London, showing it to all his family.
He's taken this picture of you and he's showing it off to everybody. And I'm like, I don't want all these random people to know what I look like. But also, I mean, I know he's doing it in the context of, oh, look at this beautiful artwork that the woman I'm going to marry has done. I know that's how he's talking about it. Look at what an accomplished artist she is, even though she's done barely anything.
And Emma continues to do this throughout the novel, like play off the Mr. Martin and Mr. Elton to try and keep Harriet on an even keel.
This one's really bad, this one's really good, but we should just be friends, and no, you don't do anything. Her line about, well, you're too necessary at Hartfield, it's like, if Mr. Elton was the one proposing, you wouldn't even say anything like that. You'd be like, yes, go.
Because if she marries Robert Martin, She can never visit Hartfield again. But if she marries Mr. Elton, she can continue to visit Hartfield.
So stupid.
I know.
Classism is so dumb. Just be friends with people who are nice and who you like and who make you feel good. God damn it, Emma.
And that is our discussion of Chapter 7 of Emma by Jane Austen. I'm Frances Duncan. This has been Rachel Pilwer. Thank you for listening, and we wish you happy reading.
Bye.
So do you not drink at all anymore?
No, I still drink. What? I have like a glass of wine most nights.
Yes, I still take the poison, only in small amounts.
Yeah.
Cool.